Okay, so you know how we're always talking about learning new things and
Mhm.
really getting into the weeds on interesting topics?
Yeah.
Well, today we're doing a discussion on something pretty amazing, actually. Right? Pediatric orthopedics. Okay. It's it's fascinating stuff. And we've got this really unique upcoming series name, Young Bones Podcast, with an expert.
Oh, what and who is it?
It's an audio introduction to a whole podcast series. Okay. But here's the thing. It's all the way from Kerala, India. India. Wow. And it's by a pediatric orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Easwar Ramani.
That's really cool. Yeah, so we're going international with this.
We are. We're going global. So, Dr. Easwar, he starts off by talking about pediatric orthopedics. You know, like what it actually means.
Right, breaking it down.
Yeah, exactly.
So when we talk about pediatric orthopedics, we're really talking about the musculoskeletal health of children.
Okay.
It's all about their bones, joints, muscles, tendons, ligaments, that whole system that allows them to move and grow.
That makes sense.
But the crucial thing here is that it's specifically focused on kids
I see.
because their bodies are, they're constantly developing and changing.
So it's not just about fixing broken bones when they fall off the monkey bars.
No. It's so much more than that.
So like what kinds of things would fall under this umbrella?
Well, Dr. Easwar, he actually touches on this in his introduction.
Okay.
And it's a surprisingly wide range.
Really?
Yeah, you've got everything from fractures, which we kind of expect with kids, right?
Yeah.
And sports injuries, those are common too.
Right.
But it also includes things like congenital disabilities, scoliosis, even knock knees.
Wow.
It's a really diverse field because it has to address all sorts of challenges that come with, growth and development.
That's a lot.
It is.
He also mentioned something about subspecialties within pediatric orthopedics.
Yes.
What's that about?
So just like in adult orthopedics, you have specialists for different areas of the body. You have spine surgeons, hand surgeons, sports medicine doctors, all those folks.
Uh-huh.
It's the same for kids. Each area requires its own specific expertise, especially when you're dealing with those unique developmental stages.
Right.
Because a child's spine, for example, is going to behave very differently than an adult spine.
Yeah, of course.
So you need someone who really understands those nuances to provide the best care.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Easwar also mentions that his podcast is going to be sort of a guide for parents and the general public on children's bone diseases and stuff,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. But it got me thinking, isn't there already a ton of information out there about this stuff?
That's true. There is a lot of information available, but that can actually be part of the problem.
Oh, how so?
Well, not all of that information is reliable, and it can be incredibly overwhelming for parents to sift through it all.
Right.
So a resource like Dr. Easwar's podcast, coming directly from a specialist, that can actually be super valuable.
Okay, I see.
It helps cut through all the noise and provide that evidence-based guidance that parents really need.
It's like a trusted source.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It can help parents understand things like warning signs of serious bone issues or knowing when it's time to actually see a specialist.
And even if you're not a parent, I think understanding this stuff can be super helpful, right?
Absolutely.
Just knowing how kids' bones heal differently from adults' bones is a game changer.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that's got to change how you respond to those bumps and bruises and playground falls, right?
Absolutely, because children's bones are more flexible and they have a much richer blood supply compared to adult bones. So they heal much faster and often remodel better.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. A fracture that might require surgery in an adult could potentially heal with just a cast in a child.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is, isn't it?
So it seems like pediatric orthopedics is a whole world unto itself.
It really is.
It's like a specialized area of knowledge dedicated to helping kids grow up strong and healthy.
Exactly.
And I love that we're getting to learn about it from an expert all the way in India.
Me too. It just goes to show how healthcare knowledge is being shared globally these days.
Right. And it makes me wonder, what are some of the common misconceptions that people have about kids' bones and how they heal?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do people think they're basically unbreakable, or that they always bounce back perfectly from injuries?
It's certainly possible. We often hear phrases like, kids are resilient.
Right.
But it's important to remember that they're not invincible.
Yeah.
Their bones are still developing and they're vulnerable to injury.
So maybe there's a need for more education around that,
I think so. Helping people understand those nuances could go a long way in preventing injuries and ensuring that kids get the care they need.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this discussion. Sounds good, but it leaves me thinking, you know, what kind of impact could we have if we all took the time to learn more about how to keep kids safe and healthy? Healthy, something to ponder, right?
Definitely something to think about. It's all about empowering ourselves with knowledge.
Exactly. And that's what these podcasts are all about.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, that's it for today. See you next time. Catch you later at Young Bones Podcast with Dr. Easwar.